camera. Is that it?
That's the one. Yep.
Hey, Dr. Dan Purser, danpursermd.com. Tonight, my staff is going to interrogate me. They were going to have me tied to a chair and have a flashlight in my face, but we vetoed that. We figured you guys had called 911 or something like that on us. And so here I am. I'm going to answer your questions for the next hour. Let's see how far we get. If we need to, we'll do a part 2, but let's see how far we can get in an hour. Jackson's going to play the opening theme song. You've got a new one.
Oh, yeah.
This is what you play on dates, I heard.
Do you want me to play the new one?
Well, yeah, play it now. So when you go on a date, this is what you play to impress the girl?
Yep. According to you, yes.
That's okay. Can anyone name that? What movie it came from? Anyone got it yet?
Just give it a minute.
It takes a minute for the comments to come in.
We'll come back in 30 seconds and see if anyone knows.
Okay. Brecken's right across from me. She's going to be asking most of the questions. Does my face look red? I'm thinking I'm getting a nice and blush. Or it could be from the hot lights and stress you guys are putting me under.
Probably that.
Okay. And to my left is cousin Will, the great recording artist. How you doing, Will?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Okay, well, Will has like this really deep, booming voice, so he's not allowed to talk a lot.
He has no microphone in front of him, so
he doesn't
they probably
need
can't
one.
hear him too well.
Okay, so these are just questions that just came out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere, huh?
Look at this. The people gave them to us, friends, followers, my followers, stuff like that, right?
Yep, questions you guys have sent in. You posted on the Facebook page.
Yeah, you emailed us with a list of 30, which is weird, but okay. So go.
Margaret got the song, by the way.
She did?
Yep.
She can have she can have an autographed copy of my progesterone book for getting the song.
Ooh.
So make sure you follow me on Substack. Can you post the address, someone?
Yep, I can do that.
Substack, please. I need like a bazillion followers on there. Because I'm going to put all my articles and stuff I've written over the years on there. Tons of it. I'm coming out with my new book. Yeah, it'll be sometime in the next 2 or 3 months. Pretty sure. Fibromyalgia. What's it called? What am I going to call it? Do we know what we're going to call it?
I don't know what you're going to call it.
Somewhere I've got a name for it. I think that's not what I want.
It's always fun to watch you type on Facebook Live.
Yeah, I'm a horrible typist.
He's looking around his microphone, too.
The Purser Fibromyalgia Protocol. How to improve your fibromyalgia dramatically, and I can't remember.
Just turn your iPad to the side a little. That way we can hear you on the mic just fine.
Okay. The Purser Fibromyalgia Protocol. It's my piece de resistance. It's my lasting legacy. I'm giving one of the many things I'm giving to the world. Here it is, how I do it, how I get people to feel better. I talk about the Facebook page in Fibromyalgia with Natural Options. I'm sure we'll get some fibromyalgia questions tonight. And so we'll do a special deal for all my followers. Please help us get the word out. Let's make it number 1 when it comes out. The day it comes out, we'll give you a launch, all that. We'll set it all up, and we'll probably launch it on a Sunday night, maybe. I don't know. Sunday.
Ooh.
Yeah. And we'll do like a really cheap price or whatever. So, because I want it to be number 1 on Amazon so people will read it and it'll catch fire. There are probably 100 million people with fibromyalgia in the world, and no one really is standing up for them. They put them on narcotics. They say they're crazy. They say they need Prozac. You heard all them. It's not a Prozac deficiency. Okay, so here I am. Is there anything else I need to cover? Hit my YouTube buttons so you follow me.
That's it. Hit my YouTube button.
buttons.
No, I mean, there's always that. It's good to promote all of your
I'm
other
on
pages.
YouTube too.
Yeah, we have YouTube. You're on Instagram. You're even on TikTok now. And what's good about following you on Instagram and TikTok, there's actually little different versions of the content everywhere.
I've got it.
Yeah.
I am going to tweet Elon Musk and ask him if he can give me my account back
Yeah.
on Twitter. Dan Purser MD.
You're never getting it back.
I've tried
Just
every
leave it
day.
behind. You're on Substack
Well, we
now.
should
You don't need to worry.
That's all good.
I want it back. It's my name on there. I don't know why they took it. Well, I know why they took it. We all know why they took it. Okay, yeah, they took it for a reason, I'm sure. Now that I'm pretty sure they did. Okay, because no one will help me get it back. So Elon maybe will. I love Elon. Okay, so let's do this thing.
Dive right in.
Yeah, let's dive right in. And
So, real quick to remind everyone, the point of this podcast tonight, everyone's been asking their questions over the last 2 weeks, I think.
yeah,
And so we want to go for at least a solid hour and just answering as many of these questions as we can. Hopefully 100. We'll see how
got
far
it.
we get.
I
Yeah.
saw Scotty Kilmer. I like to follow a car guy. I love Scotty, but
Shout out to Scotty.
shout out to Scotty Kilmer. But yeah, he's like younger than me, but I don't know. Yeah, it's a really cool guy. But I like following him. He's got like 2 million followers. That's crazy. That guy. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, yeah, he did this, and I thought it was really fun, so I did it now. But I'm doing it better. Okay, go ahead, Brecken. Roll with it.
Yeah. And also, feel free to keep leaving questions in the comments because you guys are here right now. We'll try and throw those in as well.
Yeah.
Scared him. Right off the bat, what causes severe endometriosis?
A lack of beta progesterone receptors. You don't have half your progesterone receptors. You can't absorb the progesterone. So that's severe. 1 out of 200 women have it. 1 out of 200 women with endometriosis have severe endometriosis. I have 11 cases of severe endometriosis. For example, they take anywhere from 13 to 17 or 18 of our progesterone RDTs and use a lot of Ceramax to cool all that down.
So that's how you would treat it?
That's how I treat it too. Is that a question?
Yeah, that was. So that's
Oh,
good.
okay, blew that one.
Double edged. No, it's great. I don't know what this is, but what's or MDA and what is it used for?
Malondiahide is
That's it, yes.
MDA is a measurement you make in your serum to determine your oxidation of cholesterol. And if it's high, it's bad. Cancers can cause it to be high. Bad plaque can cause it to be high. Cholesterol, too much cholesterol can cause it to be high. You want to lower it. And there's not many things that will lower it. I'm sure there's medical things, but there's nothing natural. And it's a bad measurement if it's high. MDA. It's what's the word?
Yeah, you were right. Malondialdehyde?
Yeah.
I don't know who would even know what that is.
Malondialdehyde. Yeah.
Malondialdehyde. Yeah.
Yeah, because I've talked to patients about it recently, and
Someone's tapped
words got out.
Yeah. The end product of lipid peroxidation. So
Yeah,
meaning,
lipid peroxidation. The lower, the better.
Yeah, the cell membranes of cells start to break down and oxidize.
It's an aging measurement.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a high MDA, you're probably 60, 70, 80, or 50 at least. So,
Okay.
yeah, and you want to be able to lower it because it's one of the best things you could do to lower it. So, do you know what lowers it?
I do.
What?
SOD.
Which SOD?
SOD 2 specifically, yeah.
Yeah, SOD 2. Now, if someone would just come out with a oral version of SOD 2. Okay, well, we'll get into that one day. Go ahead, Brecken. Next question.
I'm going to ask you some that have come in because I think it's good. Suggestions for reflux, not willing to take PPIs.
You need to keep PPIs on your bucket, on your list when you're treating this, instead of using it daily, because they have a high incidence of pancreatic cancer and it's either pancreatic cancer, liver cancer, I can't remember. It's horrible that they approved it for over the counter, but PPIs are like omeprazole, stuff like that. You can get it at Walmart or Costco or any of those places. But a good probiotic, a good DGL, I like Designs for Health. Their DGL, it's one of the best. It's chewable, man. Is that stuff good? Of course, that's typical Designs for Health work they do. And acids like Gaviscon. The reason that you choose that, you can't use the calcium carbonate because it will contain lead. All calcium carbonates contain lead. Also, a good probiotic like Life9, Natron, Healthy Trinity. You just got to take probiotics and get it straightened out. If you have Barrett's esophagus, that's a whole other deal. you got to take your PPI, probably.
If you have that.
Right, and you can switch. You can try and switch to Tagamet or Zantac or one of those, but they still have the same problems they cause with I think it's liver cancer. Yeah. So I have that problem. So I take PPI rarely, like once every 3 months or 2 months. I'll take it. I'll take it for a couple of days and that's it. It does block B vitamin absorption too. Those do block B vitamins.
Gotcha.
So it's a triple-edged sword there.
Not great.
Okay.
What is homocysteine and why does it worry you?
Homocysteine is created when glutathione is broken down, which sounds really weird, but it's the evil side of glutathione. Glutathione and homocysteine are the same coin. One side is amazing glutathione, the other is homocysteine. Homocysteine is a vascular inflammatory component, and it is bad. It is the worst. Of everything I know, doctors never check for it. They should check all the time, especially if you have MTHFR or any other methylation errors, check for it.
Yeah.
Because if you have a high homocysteine level, watch out, because that's what causes strokes in young people. Used to be the main cause. And heart attacks in young men, stuff like that. So homocysteine level was bad. It still is bad. You don't want to have a high homocysteine level. So when you properly, you'll have a low glutathione. If you have a high homocysteine, you have a low glutathione. That's all there is to it. Because you're not converting it properly to glutathione.
Gotcha. And usually is that that's genetic? Is MTHFR connected?
Probably lack of methionine or SAMe.
Gotcha.
More methionine. And that's a genetic thing. Yeah, it is. It's an MTHFR thing. Your cycle's broken. Go to Google Images and look up MTHFR, homocysteine, glutathione cycle. And you'll see hundreds of images come up. Look at those, study them, and you're broken somewhere in there. Or you have a dietary deficiency. It's probably broken more likely. Okay, sorry. We're never going to get to 100.
No, it's good. We're just going to get through as many as we can. Why do you say taurine deficiency is the worst amino acid deficiency to have, and why?
Someone listened.
I know.
Taurine, it's not me that says it. It's the NIH, National Institutes of Health. They say it's an essential amino acid, meaning we can't make it. We have to take it. We have to get it in our food. But it is the most essential of essential amino acids. NIH quote. If you're low in it, it causes cardiomyopathy and congestive heart failure. It is severely bad to be low in it. Your heart will feel it. And your heart's a big muscle, so that amino acid is really important for the health of your heart and all your other muscles. They'll be sore, they'll be tired, and your heart will be sore and tired. Yeah. And our CMA with redox does look at taurine, intracellular taurine levels, which is an incredible test. Yeah. That alone makes that test worth the money.
I should ask, why did we switch to that CMA rather than a SpectraCell recently?
It's a much better result. 100 test results, 100 lab values versus 38. 37, 38 on the SpectraCell. It is more accurate, I believe. It is cheaper, and it is quicker. Faster. They get it back to us quick. Cheaper, faster, better, more accurate, more results. It's the American way, and these guys did it.
Yeah. We really like it.
It's just a lot. It's just a really good test.
There's a lot of information.
Yeah, it's intracellular, so whatever you find on there is from genetics. Not much from diet. Some. Not much.
You've mentioned semaglutide a lot. What is that?
Semaglutide is a incretin mimetic. It mimics incretin, which is a substance that signals your body to produce and put out more insulin when you have a big blood glucose surge. So it's an incretin mimetic. It's popular now because it really shuts down your appetite, like big time.
I was going to say another name for it that they give it is GLP-1, glucagon-like peptide 1.
Right.
Yeah.
That's GLP-1, yeah.
Mm-hmm. If that helps make sense for more people too.
And that's a medication, right?
It's an injectable medication. You take like an insulin shot once a week. It's usually really expensive. I don't know if you know, we're going to offer a diet program because we can get it compounded really inexpensively. Really inexpensively. Like your first shot's like under $7
Crazy.
compared to thousands.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of success so far.
Super interesting. How do you treat high blood pressure naturally?
Avoid salt, exercise, lose weight, and there's a product from Designs for Health called HTN. If you email our office for it, we'll send you the link, or we can we post the link?
Mm-hmm.
HTN, which stands for hypertension. They don't say that, but it is. It's worth a try to see if it'll lower your blood pressure.
Yeah. What's the main cause of neuropathy that you see?
Vitamin deficiencies, usually B12 or zinc or something like that.
Gotcha.
It can be usually shockingly resolved. If it's a nerve compression problem, I can't help it.
Yeah, which
I always warn patients. I'm like, this is a disc or nerve compression problem in your back. This isn't going to help. But if we can find out, it could be a glutathione or SOD deficiency too, and those work really well if you can get a topical version of those in one.
The side eye. What is insulin resistance?
It is where your insulin receptor does not function correctly. It's funny because when I speak to large groups of doctors, they don't seem to know that. It's like I'm waiting for one out of the 5,000 I'm talking to come forward and say, it's your insulin receptors not functioning correctly. But no one ever comes up with that answer. So I have to tell them it's an insulin receptor dysfunction. And shocking that most, at least the ones I've talked to and spoken in front of, don't seem to grasp that. It's like something is broken about your insulin receptor, usually something missing, like chromium, zinc. Omegas are a big problem for insulin receptor functionality. Probably the most common problem I see are zinc deficiency. Either omegas or zinc on the intracellular testing causes bad insulin receptor dysfunction. You better take care of those, you're going to be in trouble. If I see a bad omega, zinc, B12, they're going to have borderline diabetes. And it should resolve when you deal with those deficiencies properly.
That's good to know.
Yeah, I get type 2 diabetics in here all the time. My job is to get rid of it. I call it unwinding. I can't cure type 2 diabetes. I'll never claim that. But I can get rid of all the problems associated with it. I'll just leave it right there.
And so the insulin receptor dysfunction, is it something genetic, or is there trauma that causes it to become?
It can be genetic if you have a GLP-6-2 error. Did I say that right? I think so. GLP-6-2, probably not saying that SNP right. It will cause you to need extra chromium and vanadium. And if you don't have extra chromium and vanadium always entering your system, your insulin receptors will fail. Chromium is probably the most important thing, but not the most important deficiency I see for insulin receptors. But technically, think of it like a Mercedes engine, real buzzing along. You have hundreds of them on every cell, and suddenly you're missing half the oil in them all. That's the omega. Or you're missing the chromium. That's the chrome top half of the engine. Or you're missing zinc. That's the size of the engine. You don't want to miss those.
Yeah.
And B12 is kind of like the fuel for it.
This is a good one. This is from someone right now. I'm having Charlie horse issues in my toes and sides of my legs above my left ankle. Really hurts. Anything you can recommend?
Yes, it's usually, not always, but usually magnesium deficiency, and you need 2 or 3 a day and take them for a while. You could probably cut back after a month to maybe 1 a day, but if you ever go off, they'll come right back. I get them too. It's when I don't have enough magnesium. And right now, I don't have enough magnesium, so I'm being getting Charlie horses.
Dang.
And what kind of magnesium do you think works
Chelate
best?
or there's various combinations. Not magnesium oxide will give you diarrhea.
Not citrate either.
Well, I don't have much of a problem with citrate. So, but that chelate seems to be better. Magnesium malate is the one I prefer right now. That's designed for, but I've had I've had one patient have problems with it.
What about magnesium glycinate?
Yeah, it works. Chelate. Well, there's a bunch of them.
There are so many.
Yeah, just take 2 or 3 a day. You're gonna need it. Take it with food. It will eat you alive. You'll have that. Yeah, you'll have that reflex like that one lady had, or person had.
Not fun. What's the number one vitamin deficiency that causes hair loss?
It's in women only, not in men.
In women, sorry.
Yeah, I'd guess. What were they? Were they asking for
This
men?
person just said hair loss, but I think I've got another one for men's later. We can answer
Okay, yeah,
both.
it's got to be in women because men's is not caused by vitamin deficiency, zinc deficiency, easily. If you don't believe me, go on PubMed and search zinc and alopecia, ALOPECIA, and you'll see a ton of articles and studies come out, tons, like 1,200 of them, and also lots of pictures that will terrify you. And I get alopecias like that.
It's hard. It's sad. And it's just a vitamin
It's
deficiency.
not, they don't need hair transplants, they need vitamins.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. Pick up the pace.
What about for men for hair loss?
Male pattern baldness. Too much DHT,
What is DHT?
dihydroepitestosterone.
Okay.
It's what testosterone breaks down to. Also gives men their libido. So if you give them one of the medications like Avodart or one of those that will thicken their hair, they're liable to lose some of their libido. It may be worth it. They'll have a thick fat of hair, but they won't have a girlfriend.
Talking about men still, what's the number one vitamin deficiency you see that causes low testosterone in men?
Zinc.
Zinc again. Wow.
Zinc is really common.
And that's common with like a lot of people with zinc deficiencies. Yeah.
And what versions of zinc do you think are easiest
Zinc
to absorb?
picolinate, zinc glycinate, I think there's one, zinc citrate, but I'd go with picolinate. Then you can look, you can choose whatever zinc you want, but
For hair loss, how much zinc a day for a woman?
50 milligrams is probably safe to do long term. It takes a long time to get rid of that deficiency. It can take months. And your hair has to cycle through, and it goes through all these weird little cycles, and it's more liable to fall out when you start the zinc. You have to wear a really cool wig, and it's just, it takes a while.
Is thyroid connected to zinc?
Yes, it's wholly connected to zinc. Thyroid receptor and thyroid production. If you're low in zinc, you'll have neither.
That's crazy.
Your thyroid receptors will be dysfunctional, and I get a lot of, I call them pseudo hypothyroidism cases that when I check and they have a bad zinc level or selenium or one of those. So thyroid's also a seleno hormone made with selenium. It's like it came from another creature or world and it attached to our body, and now we have thyroid. So it's a selenium monster attached to us. But zinc is really critical for it. I see that a lot more often.
Yeah. I hear that a lot.
One comment I just kind of want to touch on as well. It's so interesting. Like we're seeing all of these issues with zinc deficiencies. And so it's always so important to realize the homeostasis of things. And there are so many very key nutrients, minerals and nutrients that our body needs for many, many different functions.
Yeah, that's the CMA we do.
Exactly.
I wouldn't tell anyone to do this, but I have patients who have zinc pyruria. It's not supposed to exist. I'll tell you it exists. I have a lady in Australia who's probably listening to this. She has to take 700 milligrams of zinc a day just to barely maintain her serum zinc levels. They will fall out of the floor if she stops it. She's forever going to have to do that. No one knows why. I don't even know what pyruria is, but it's something where they just weep zinc in their kidneys.
They're not absorbing it at all.
They absorb it, but it just goes right through.
Right through.
Yeah. So I have some people, I have a couple, 2 or 3, I can't remember, 2 or 3 people are in the U.S. who take 200 or 300 milligrams a day.
Wow.
So 700 is the worst I've seen.
Yeah.
And so don't tell me that zinc polyuria doesn't exist. It exists.
It's crazy.
One of those diseases that's not supposed to exist, but it exists.
There it is.
This is like a random one. Might stump you, maybe. Reoccurring styes on right eye only. Nothing helps. Have any
The
thoughts?
eyelids, the eyelashes are infected. Probably the sebum glands or the follicle glands themselves. Man, that's hard to clear up.
Do you think like a microgen would help?
Yeah, it'd
Getting
probably
it
help a
swabbed?
lot. Yeah, swab their eye. Yeah, especially when they have a sty and find out exactly what it is. You go after that PCR2 level testing.
Might help.
So whoever you are, you might want to reach out to us, and you can have one of those sitting by next time sty comes up, because it's going to become a problem if you don't deal with it. It's going to get in your other eye and in your sinuses. Probably already is there if you get hoarse. Yeah.
Can we talk about what kind of testing that is? I think people will find that interesting.
Microgen DX is a company in San Antonio. They have PCR2 level testing for bacteria that causes infections.
And so
It is crazy accurate. It looks at for the DNA of the whatever would be in that sty, whatever is in your throat, whatever is in your colon, wherever you swab, it's going to show you what's in there, because it misses nothing, as far as I can tell.
it's genetic testing for bacteria.
Yeah, it is genetic. Yeah, you can find the little boogers. You can find them and find out exactly what they are, what they're resistant to, what they're sensitive to, all through their DNA. And they have a library of, I'm sure, probably approaching 100,000 bacteria at this point.
Yeah, and so that way the correct antibiotics can be prescribed to target.
Perfectly correct. Or they can go take it to their ophthalmologist, have them prescribe it.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's really cool. Really cool technology.
It's a lifesaver. I've had so many patients, but sometimes you find some really hard infections. I'm sure some of those people are listening. Just really hard to clear up because they're so embedded. They've been in there for 7 years or whatever, somewhere in their body. It's just, wow. So, yeah.
Wow.
I got to like some of the funny questions. Repulsive foot odor. What can you do? She says she's tried colloidal silver, that kind of stuff, chloroform, liquid. Hasn't really found anything to help. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. I have to
It's a
examine her
teenage
feet.
boy. It's a teenage male, young male.
Oh, spray all his shoes with
Or not a
Lysol,
teenage.
wash them, spray them all with Lysol, and have him rub glutathione on his feet. I don't know what to do. That is so antibacterial.
Yeah.
Our VARs with lemon and peppermint essential oils in it. I don't know, just a thought. I don't know.
I didn't know if you knew that one. I thought it was kind of interesting.
How am I doing? I think I've answered 7 questions. It's pretty
Just
good.
7, that's it.
Yeah.
Is there anything you can do to clean out your veins or arteries?
Yes. Yeah, I need to put an article out on Substack about plaque regression. Would you text me that?
Yeah. Now, you've done a couple videos in the past too.
On plaque regression. Yeah, go look at those videos. Yeah, it's touchy. It's got to be done right. There's like 7 things I know of that will cause plaque regression. And that's what you want. Plaque occurs because of inflammation and high blood pressure and stress in the arteries. And just layers, it's bandages that your white blood cells put in there. They get so many cuts of it, starts clogging things. And it's better than having a heart attack and your vessels rupturing. But yeah, then eventually it causes it to get clogged and some breaks loose and you die. So there it is. It buys you time, but then you pay for it. So yeah, there are ways to get that. I'm a big plaque regression fan because I wrote that textbook on preventive medicine. Some of it you won't like to hear, like statins, ezetimibe, stuff like that, but just really good options you can get. Yeah, you only have 2 options. You have clogged coronary or carotid arteries, surgery, or plaque regression. Like lowering your blood pressure below 180 over 120. Let's say get it down to 170 over 120, causes plaque regression. Yeah, probably no one knows that, but there's other than a few doctors out there. So stuff like that. Thyroid, FT3 of close to 4.0 will cause plaque regression.
Isn't like taking niacin too?
Niacin will definitely naturally cause plaque regression. You got to take the right kind so you don't flush like crazy. Yeah, I'm on 1,500 milligrams of niacin right now a day. That's what the studies have shown. Go look at my Substack for that niacin study. Big Substack article I wrote.
Yeah. This is another funny one. Is it bad for your body to only drink seltzer water? Is
Yeah.
that like carbonated water?
Probably, yeah.
Probably try
That'd be
normal
weird.
water.
Yeah, try normal water.
Over time, that might hurt you.
Yeah. I don't mean ocean water. I mean like filtered,
Yeah.
nice, clean water.
I just thought that was kind of funny.
That was not really a medical question.
It could be.
Whatever.
What's your thoughts on psoriasis?
Usually a vitamin deficiency, in my experience, in my humble opinion. I know that totally disagrees with all the big pharmas and everyone else. It's usually a B vitamin deficiency. And didn't you guys all have psoriasis or eczema or something?
I never have, but I know my siblings have.
I don't know if I do or not, but I get these patches on my legs sometimes.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
don't ever hurt though.
Yeah, again, it goes away.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably when your B vitamins are low. Since you never tell your dad that, me.
I always thought
Yeah.
it was dry skin.
Okay,
Because
or
I
that.
get eczema a lot, which I
Yeah.
don't as much anymore except for on my eyelid.
Eczema occurs because of vitamin deficiencies. So
I used to get eczema really bad right here.
Yeah.
It would be like crazy inflamed. So
yeah, I don't see it now.
I don't have that.
You are pale.
It's winter.
Okay, whatever.
How
Yeah.
dare he?
Not to keep getting sidetracked with things, I've heard a lot of people just like being very sad this year. And I can't help but think that a lot of people are having some vitamin D deficiencies.
I think the best thing that CMA does is make people happy when they deal with those deficiencies. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's yeah. If you don't have a history of depression, suddenly you're just getting sad and tired and fatigued and exhausted and really depressed and stressed. It's vitamin deficiencies. I sound like a wackadoo naturopath, but I'm not. It's really, I've seen it time and time again. I've gotten really happy with my vitamins. Like a happy clown now.
Definitely. No, I'm a perfect example of that. It's been so crazy to me over like the last year, 2 years, just how happy I have been ever since I got all of my deficiencies
Dealt
in
with,
order.
yeah, and you're
Yeah.
young.
Yeah.
I have to do it like every 3 or 4 months because I'm old. And man, my deficiencies would blow through and bottom out. So then I'm like, I'm suicidal. Anyway, all that.
I have seen that side of you. It is,
I know.
it's
It's like,
sad. I got to force you to get your CMA done again every 6 months.
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
How do you treat heavy, crazy periods in women? And what's the number one cause?
First thing I would do is vitamin deficiencies, I believe. Here we go again. I know it's the answer for everything, isn't it? But if you have, so remember I say this all the time, good nutrition in equals good hormones out. If you have vitamin deficiencies, you're not going to produce enough progesterone. If you have amino acid deficiencies, you're not going to produce enough progesterone. If you have antioxidant deficiencies, we go on. And I can show you case after case after case. A lot of them think they have endometriosis. I'm like, no, you're just malnourished. Sorry, your periods are crazy and sometimes come, sometimes go. And they're horrible when they do arrive, and they last like 2 weeks, and which makes you more vitamin deficient. It's a vicious, weird cycle. So, yeah. So I'd give them natural progesterone and to help control it. But really, when they're 28, 32, 42, 48, whatever, they should be making their own progesterone. So that's the first thing I'm going to ask. Why are you not making your own progesterone? Why are you not cycling correctly? Yeah, I don't do birth control pills. I don't do Band-Aids. You guys know that.
Mm-hmm.
So and they all know that.
A similar inverse with men as well. You see the same exact thing with testosterone.
Yeah, low
levels.
testosterone in men. Yeah, it's almost always, unless they played in the NHL or NFL or Division I football, they've had major concussions from a car wreck. Probably not a pituitary dysfunction. It's probably a vitamin deficiency.
Yeah.
You can give me another reason. Yeah, maybe your boyfriend's right testicle got run over in a trekking accident. That can happen. But yeah, they'll know that. They'll definitely know that. They'll remember that one. So
It's hard to forget.
yeah, it's really hard to forget. So yeah, otherwise it's a vitamin deficiency.
Yeah.
Sometimes though, I run into situations where I can't figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm like, so I put them on testosterone. It's rare. Very rare.
What do you do for Raynaud syndrome?
Raynaud syndrome, first, you need to understand, statistically is really rare. It's usually, I mean, the antibodies and everything, okay, they'll have it. But usually it's hypothyroidism that's been mishandled or misdiagnosed.
That's what we used to think I had, because my hands would be like...
And you were hypothyroid.
Yeah.
Yeah. See it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I don't think you have Raynaud's because your thyroid's really low.
What are the best levels for thyroid? Someone asked
FT3 or 4.0 around there. FT3, free T3, FREE, T3, and a free T4 of above 1.5. So if I get a 28-year-old or 33-year-old lady or guy in my office who says they're healthy, and mom's like, their mom who's with them for whatever reason says, I'm going to pay for the labs, check their thyroid. And I get back, they'll have whatever the upper end of the range is, either 4.4 or 4.2 for most labs. For all labs that I know of, for FT3, they'll be right there. And for FT4, they'll be at 1.8. It's weird how healthy and accurate those tests are.
Mm-hmm.
And so also a low thyroid tends to follow a low testosterone, especially in men. So if it's low, you're going to have a low testosterone. They track each other. We don't know why. Probably because same vitamin deficiencies affect both, I think. Go ahead.
How does PD8020 help women? Which that's the Young Living product, but
It is. It's both DHEA and pregnenolone. Pregnenolone is the P, DHEA is the D. So women will readily and quickly convert pregnenolone and some DHEA to testosterone. So if you're postmenopausal, I like it. If you don't have a family, as long as you don't have a primary risk factor for breast cancer, you, your mom, your sister, your daughter. If they have, no one's in that group had breast cancer, you can take it because of the DHEA. Otherwise, you can't take it. You got to take something topical like Pregnenolone Plus. PD8020 will readily convert to testosterone. What I see most people do is take too much of it. They follow the instructions. Most women and most men only need 2 or 3 a week. Do you need it? Yeah, if you're postmenopausal. But you want to make sure all the other causes of low testosterone are looked at if you're a man. Why are you not making your own pregnenolone DHEA? I'm going to ask that man that. Remember, the oldest I've ever seen a man with a normal testosterone level, not on anything, was the 85-year-old with a 1250. So.
sorry. Will had like a tear rolling down his eye.
Sorry, Will. Is that PD8020
You scared
make
him.
you cry?
It's terrifying.
I just look over.
If you take too much of it and you break out, you'll get back knee or along your jawline, breaking out.
Yeah.
I'll just randomly break out. I'm like, crap, I took 3 this week. Accidentally. I take it too.
That's super.
I like PD8020.
Yeah, it's a good one. You always talk about that one. Someone keeps asking this, so I want to make sure I ask. Any advice for pancreatitis that was triggered over and over from ERCP? Completely compliant patient, no alcohol, extreme low fat diet. I know that's a big one. I don't know. He's Googling.
Mm-hmm.
Just kidding.
I am Googling. I guess I can't do that. I'm not allowed to do that.
Yeah,
you can Google.
You're
Just
kidding.
move your iPad.
Really? What? I don't know how to do that.
Still looks around.
Do you want me to play Edelweiss again while we're waiting?
Yeah, play it while we're
Small
waiting.
intermission. Oh, let's just listen to Brecken singing.
No.
That's lovely. Continue for us.
Done. Play a little jam.
I'll play my original theme song. I messed it up. Can't do it. Too much
Got
pressure.
stage fright. Maybe he's got an answer now. I know that's a complex one.
Getting close to stumping him.
I know.
No, I
This is a
already
good
knew
question.
because I've researched the right thing right away. It appears to be associated with, oddly enough, SOD2. Lack of SOD2 causes pancreatitis, they think. Tons of articles. Hundreds.
So I want to just touch on SOD. It's one of the most important substances in our cells. We've talked a lot about glutathione over the years, but SOD literally is the very, very first frontline defense against superoxide damage, superoxide stress and damage that happens within the cells. And we create superoxides constantly just through normal metabolism of carbohydrates becoming energy. They break off into water, oxygen, and ATP throughout the whole energy production process. Right. And so our body has a mechanism in place to protect itself from the oxidative stress that comes from these superoxides, and that is SOD, superoxide dismutase.
Here is my search of PubMed, SOD2 and pancreatitis, because I know we're working on a new SOD2 product. That's
a secret.
Oh, okay, never mind. We're not working on that.
Insider secret, just for the followers.
Yeah, okay, just for all you followers. It's going to be an oral version of SOD.
Yeah.
And here's the articles. I just sent them to Brecken and Jackson, so it's just a search I did on PubMed. I'm not very detailed, but it's 75 articles.
So what's the mechanism that you're seeing with pancreatitis and SOD2? What do the studies say?
Lack of SOD2. SOD2 protects against pancreatitis and pancreatic cancer.
We'll have to delve into the mechanisms a little bit sometime.
Changes in the acute activity and concentration of superoxide dismutase, copper, zinc, SOD, manganese SOD. So SOD1 and SOD2, I think. And in the blood of healthy subjects and patients with acute pancreatitis. That's the article you want to look at. So you can get the whole article on PubMed.
Yeah.
So it's pretty big. Anyway, yeah, so I'm right. So I think it's lack of SOD. It'd be my way you could treat it or try. I mean, our Serum X has SOD in it, but I'd wait. I'd see what we come up with, or try that temporarily for the next few months and see if you can cool it off. I wonder if glutathione has that link to it.
Yeah, something similar.
Why do they ask me these questions that I get all excited about after you go research? I'm trying to find a curing for impossible cure stuff.
That is what you do. That's your specialty.
There's not that many articles attached to it. 3,000.
Interesting. So antioxidants are important for
They
fighting
remove inflammation. They also remove things that shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
So let me send that link to you guys too.
I do think a Substack article would be worthwhile on this specifically.
Well, would you text it to me? Because you're asking me and I'll not remember. I can't remember the one I asked for earlier.
Yeah, it's all good. I'll text you.
I think that was a good question. Like, made you do some research.
I would say
so
that gets a prize.
Something, Heather Marie, you win something.
Well, Heather Marie, thanks for stumping me. But lipid peroxidation, glutathione, metabolism, and chronic pain. There's SOD too, right there, because it lowers lipid peroxidation and decreases MDA.
Yeah.
Well, now you know what I'm going to look at, right?
Yeah.
Pancreatitis and MDA. You're going to make him do some research. Thanks, Heather.
This is the end of this whole thing.
Just as a little...
1,200 articles.
Oh, wonderful.
So if you lower MDA, you'll probably... and lower lipid peroxidation, you can probably stop pancreatitis from occurring.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
It is.
Should I get a Nobel Prize for that?
You keep thinking that.
I think I should get it for fibro, but they're not going to give it to me.
We got to get your protocol out there a little bit more.
Okay, we'll see.
As a little side note, I just wanted to say to the audience, just this whole little process that just happened. This is what Dan does all the time. I mean, he finds something interesting that there's really no clear answer to.
I hate those.
And then
how can there not be an answer to it?
Yeah.
They have answers, but then they don't think there's a functional SOD or functional glutathione out there.
Yeah.
And that's where they don't know. Everyone's tried to make those and no one's been successful. We're the only ones to ever do that. I will say we've done that.
Yeah.
And we have patents to prove it. So.
Yeah.
And a lot of new drug indications we're going after. So. Yeah. Anyway, okay, sorry. Next question.
This woman is homozygous C677T MTHFR.
So the worst homozygosity with MTHFR.
She's had 4 miscarriages, and she's wondering what she can do to help increase her chances of carrying full term.
She needs to get a NutriHacker Complete. Do a 23andMe, get a NutriHacker Complete. and find out exactly how many methylation errors she has. She would probably want to be on our Renew 1 or 2 a day, and our Endure also. Put up the link for our prenatal, whatever it's called, prenatal pro,
Okay.
because it's for methylated people. And with that link, you can get free shipping and stuff like that. My discount, all that.
I like that, methylated people. I've never heard you say that.
Methylated people.
People with methylation.
Yeah, people with methylation errors.
Kind of in relation, do you believe that ADHD is linked to vitamin and mineral deficiencies?
I do.
And MTHFR?
I do. I'm probably the only one out there, but I see kids get a lot calmer when we deal with their methylation errors. I can't cure it. I can't fix it. I'm not claiming to. They just get a lot calmer. I can't really cure anything. I'm terrible at curing stuff.
Yeah.
I can't cure pancreatitis, but I bet I'm going to take a real hard look at it and see if I can improve it. And then we'll have another new drug indication for another product.
Yeah.
Um,
That's what's always so interesting to me is the cure really lies in if it were possible to completely edit your genome for certain things to be able to process.
That'd take all the fun out of it. We'd all be
Yeah.
the same person.
Yeah, yeah. And so that's why it's not a cure, but the way to manage it, the way to manage symptoms is by treating those
They can
deficiencies.
edit key genomics, but we talked about that because to get one gene changed is $2 to $3 million using the CRISPR technology. It does not come cheap. I think they've got 3 severe cancers and stuff. Genetic cancers they can edit.
Wow.
Now, but you're going to pay a lot for it, and insurance won't cover it. So maybe it'll get cheaper as time goes by.
Mm-hmm.
By the time I get about 85, maybe they can make me 20 again. Yeah, now you're talking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is there any help or direction for tinnitus? She said she's seen 2 ENTs, nothing shows up. Could it be nutritional?
No, I've tried. My wife has it. Your mom has it. You know, she suffers with it. My attorney is a good friend, suffers from it. I haven't figured that one out. It's some damage to that nerve.
Yeah.
And I can't get in there and fix it.
Sometimes it's genetic too, right? Just
No,
in there.
I don't think so.
Oh.
I think it's damage. I can't. Sorry. I it's horrible. You do get used to it after a while, but what comfort is that? It's so rotten to have it.
Sorry, I'm reading through. What about POTS? Any recommendations for
Yeah,
treatment?
yeah. I don't buy it.
That's not always the best answer when people have been diagnosed with that. I can see where someone
Postural orthostatic.
Is that like the salt where they need salt or something?
No, they don't know why they get POTS and stuff. I'll tell you why. All the POTS cases I've dealt with in the last year, I've done the CMA, the vitamin panel on them, and they always have the same funky vitamin deficiencies. So, and they're usually bad. Iron being an intracellular deficiency does not show up in their serum. If you have an intracellular iron deficiency, you're going to be lightheaded, wobbly, vertigo, can't stand up, fall down, all that. Trust me, I've had it. I donated way too much blood. So I'm going to say again, I'm not sure I buy it. I'd get that vitamin panel, correct those, and you can do it in young kids even. You just can't get the antioxidant portion when they're under 18, I think. Anyone above 18, you can get the whole panel on them. But it still gives you 48 really important vitamins, iron being one of them. So I will find it. It usually gets a lot better. I just haven't seen that not work yet.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just kind of a diagnosis that appeared a few years ago, and postural or orthostatic hypertension, or I don't even know what it is. I'm not saying it right, but it's supposed to be. They don't know the cause.
Yeah.
They have a lot of made up funny things that they have as the cause, but I'm not trying to disparage it, but I'm telling you,
Could be something deeper.
it's vitamin issues, and at least the ones I've dealt with. And maybe that's only like the 7 or 8 I've seen, but
When you say vitamin issues, because I think this is something people get confused, you're talking about vitamins, minerals, antioxidants.
Oh, yeah.
You're talking about that
a whole plethora.
nutritional deficiency.
Yeah, and I'm gonna find them.
Because I think people, they just think, oh, vitamin like B12. But like you're talking about like random.
Yeah, and you can take a multivitamin, take a B complex, take all that, but you need to. Some of those deficiencies are really severe. You need a lot of some of those.
Yeah.
Like 5 a day. I don't care if they're 15 even. At 15 years old. Yeah, you're gonna take 4 of these, Bobby.
In relation
People-
to that, is there a reason, should you be spreading out taking your vitamins, or should you just take them all at once in the morning?
I tend to take them all at once in the morning, but I'm on so many right now after this last round. Good grief. Yeah, I take some in the morning, some at lunch, and some before bed.
Someone was asking, like, does it affect your liver? Should you be spacing them out to
No,
help
it
your
won't
liver?
affect your liver.
Okay.
You're gonna no. I see more liver problems from deficiencies. No, take them. Just drink lots of water. I am drinking a lot of water. I've glow in the dark urine going on. It's weird.
TMI.
Yeah, well, it's getting old.
Holy.
But now I've been 3 weeks at it. I feel really good. I feel normal.
Well, that's good.
And I'm on a really strict diet right now. So I'm dropping weight, and I do get that afternoon fatiguey kind of feeling, but it doesn't bother me.
Yeah. Now, that's one interesting thing, kind of what Brecken was pointing out too. A lot, or the vast majority of what you do in your practice is dealing with the micronutrients. Exactly.
It's weird. I'm not your typical. I'm more like a naturopath.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a glorified naturopath. I'm lucky to be one. I love those guys. And not the really weird ones, but like the vast majority. I've been to their national meetings, stuff like that. They're really cool.
Yeah.
So
One of the points I want to just make real quick is that it's crazy. It's its own like epidemic that we're seeing of so many people with so many intracellular deficiencies of vitamins.
happens
minerals,
all the
amino
time.
acids.
It's
Yeah.
not being properly addressed. The guy did research in California wanted it to be addressed. He was mad that doctors didn't do all this stuff and gave Band-Aids for everything. I would say 85-90% of this FIC is just vitamin deficiencies.
Yeah, it's
Which is
crazy.
so
to me.
weird.
The fatigue, anxiety, and depression, things that most everyone deals with at some time in their
Right.
life, they come.
But if you get
pressed
an
on.
infection
Mhm.
of something that we all know about and scares us, it really chews through a lot of vitamins, especially zinc and glutathione and stuff like that. D3, it's crazy. I can have someone have a normal panel, maybe a few borderline deficiencies the week before, then they get flu or something close to it, and a month later they said, I'm so tired I can't handle it, Dr. Purser. And so we repeat the CNA and they've got 14 major deficiencies. That's just what it takes to beat back some of these illnesses. Or they've had surgery, or I had stem cells. So, and that's why I think suddenly I had 14 bad deficiencies that affected a lot of other things in my life. So I'm taking my vitamins. 3 weeks, I'm feeling really good. By 5 or 6 weeks, I'll feel really good. By 10 weeks, I'll feel really nice. In 100 days, we'll see where I'm at. So, yeah, 3 weeks, I'm feeling good. I'm here tonight doing this. Give me another question.
Yeah, I think this is a good one because it's about copper balance. If too low copper can cause dementia, do we need to stay on copper balance for fibro? Or how does it absorb so it doesn't lower your copper too much? I think people get confused on the copper balance. and
Copper
how it
will
works.
not get rid of your copper. It moves it. So copper balance is a copper zinc metallothionein supplement, and we proved it to the U.S. Patent Office that it worked. What it did, we had intracellular data. We have a patent on that product. That's how good that is. And there's some things we think we'll do to even improve it a little notch better. It is a really cool product for people with fibro, probably Wilson's disease. They should take it too, maybe. But what it does is allows your copper zinc metallothionein, which is dysfunctional, to work more correctly and move copper out of your serum, where it should not be in big amounts, into your cells appropriately where you need it. You don't need a lot of copper. The major problem with fibromyalgia is the American diet has way too much copper in it. Huge amounts. Green smoothies, avocados, shrimp, lobster, nuts, peanut butter. Our ancestors did not cross the fruited plains, picking avocados off trees and munching on them while they ate peanuts and walnuts and almonds they found along the way. That just did not happen. So if you think you have fibro and you want to know if it's a copper problem, go to that Facebook page, in Fibromyalgia with Natural Options. I've said this dozens of times. I started that page, and it's my page now. Well, the community of 5,000 plus people with fibro run it now, but and download the low copper diet there. I put originally 8 things on there. There's now 400 or 500 things they found, and they kind of have to decide as a group what goes on there or not.
Yeah.
So I created that community so people could get help with their fibromyalgia at no cost. And eating a low copper diet is cheaper than eating a high copper diet.
It's true.
Because you're only allowed to eat like 3 things.
No, it's a lot.
Well, one of the cool things that I'll mention about fibro, just because I've gone through that whole process myself, is that once you go essentially through a detox of all of the free or the high levels of copper that are in your blood serum built up around, you go through that for a while. And so that doing the low copper diet is first step for that.
Yeah.
And then going through a detox.
And it proves the concept.
It proves the concept.
Yeah, you're
definitely.
like, oh, wow, I feel 90% better on the stupid
Exactly.
diet with that.
And then you use copper balance and VARS glutathione to both help start
And you deal with your
processing.
methylation errors, the big 3,
course,
the
yeah.
triumvirate of fibromyalgia.
Exactly. And so once you have all that in place, and once your body's actually processing copper normally or in a much better way than it has ever before, then you can start incorporating a lot
start
of those
adding the
things
things back in. Yeah, it's not permanent.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, fibromyalgia is permanent. Yeah, I can't cure it, don't claim to, but we can get you from like I asked Denise, your mom, my wife, the other day, how bad was she when she had really bad days, when she was right in the middle of her fibro? She said, a 12. She said, I hurt so bad.
Yeah.
I couldn't hardly move, and it was terrible. She said, now I'm 0, maybe 1 occasionally if I do something bad, stupid, eat the wrong food.
Yeah.
She said, if I really mess up, I can jump to the 4 or 5, and I correct it really quickly.
Yeah. And definitely that's exactly my experience as well. If I know I'm starting to push towards some kind of fibro flare or something, again, I take a bunch of copper balance and I'm good to go.
Yeah, because it allows your copper zinc metallothionein. It won't cure fibro, but it allows it to your
manage.
copper zinc metallothionein to manage it
Yeah.
correctly.
You actually are managing everything, which is just, it's amazing to me. I'm living.
It's like diabetes without the shot.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
I'm living a normal life, and it's actually been very fun watching my mom lately. She's really been honing in on a lot of these things, and she's doing great.
No.
She's getting back into doing workouts and everything daily.
It's funny, we'd been married about 6 months when she told me, she's like, I have fibromyalgia. I'm like, what? Wait, what? I didn't know that. So, because those are the old Dr. Ben, it wasn't made up. I didn't know. It was a drug addiction. She said, but when mom said, I don't take pain meds. I don't do anything for it. It's just nothing I can do. I just suffer with it. I'm like, holy cow. Yeah, and a lot of fibro people are like that.
Yeah.
Go to that Facebook page, in Fibromyalgia with Natural Options. If you have fibro, you have friends that do, save their life. Make them happy. Give them comfort, because they'll get all the help they need there.
Yeah. So again, one just like overall point I want to make with all that, there's one very specific disease that had no cure forever, and there still isn't a cure necessarily, but by just diving a little bit deeper, peeling back the layers a little bit more, looking at the true cause of what's happening, looking at the intracellular deficiencies of these micronutrients, and then treating them appropriately with the versions that person can actually genetically handle, it changes everything.
It does.
It absolutely changes it.
So, and I didn't come up with that concept. Let me make it really clear. Naturopaths figured it out first that it was a copper issue and that molybdenum would help it. Well, molybdenum does help it. But in the book I'm writing about this, there's a ton of articles on molybdenum worsening fibromyalgia. And what planet is that? Just no, it won't do that. It's like they don't want you to take molybdenum, but because you get molybdenum toxic or something like that. No, not when you need it severely. Not when you're suffering, not when your copper zinc metallothionein is not functioning correctly. It needs molybdenum to form molybdopterin. Go look it up, molybdopterin, on PubMed, and copper, zinc, and metallothionein. That's how it moves copper around. Yeah, it forms this substance called molybdopterin, and it uses the molybdenum it has.
Yeah.
And uses it up and throws that copper either out or into the cell or out of the body. Okay, next.
8 p.m.
Oh, really? No, we got like 12 questions we did.
We can always do part 2 if you really
Okay,
want.
let's do part 2 next week.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Has to
guys,
be next week.
Yeah.
keep
Let's do it.
bringing in your questions. We'll see if we can keep getting through them next week. But
What do we do this? And then I've got to go to Seattle,
Mm-hmm.
that speaking thing. And then I got to go to Orlando for another big speaking thing. And then after that, we can do a third one if we
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah. So let's do next week, and then when we come back in a couple weeks
Yeah,
after.
you guys aren't allowed to talk to him the next one.
Sorry, I did distract a lot from it, but I love getting into these conversations. I
Did
just
they
find-
like it? Can you tell?
yeah, Gail
Yeah.
says keep going.
Oh, keep going now?
We
Just
can
one
we can
later,
do a
she
couple
says
more if
keep
you want
going.
to right now. That-
No, let's end it because I'll stay here all night. I can literally answer these for the next 2 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So
No, let's just keep the hype going this week,
Yeah.
and we'll get back next Sunday night and keep on discussing. These are
Yeah.
great. I've really enjoyed this conversation.
It's
I think
always
it's been fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Always good.
Mm-hmm. Any last things to everyone, Dr. Purser?
no, thank you, and I love you all. Hope these have answered some of your questions. God bless and go in good health. Thanks.